Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, peace, blessings, honors to all the brothers in the truth. I'm going to name the title of this lesson, Israelites in Africa. You know, and really the spirit came on me to go into this title, just to touch in on it, because I know in the past, I think I vaguely kind of remember, but I think I was going in teaching on, pretty much who the Israelites is. And it led me to saying some things about the Hamites. And I know some people could have possibly took that the wrong way, which even though the things I was saying that was true about the Hamites, you have the whole big disconnection, right? And misunderstanding that with the whole Africa thing, So when we say Africa, we're not saying that there aren't Israelites in Africa. There aren't Israelite populations of people in Africa. When we say Hamites, we're talking about Ham. We're talking about actually the Ham and the seed of Ham. The nation of Ham, which live in Africa. But also, like I said, you also have Israelites that live in Africa. So just because you're an African brother, right, and you come from Africa and you're over here in America now, and you hear me talking about Ham and saying Ham or the Africans, that don't necessarily mean I'm talking about you. Which is the same thing. You could be a so-called Edomite-looking brother, but you could be an Israelite because it goes by blood and by seed. So yeah, you might have came from Africa to America, and you could very well be an Israelite, because there's actually big populations of Israelites in the land of Africa still. Especially when you get to talking about the western and northern parts of Africa, right? So right here on your screen, we have the Igbo Jews, which are in Africa, in Nigeria. And we understand that the so-called Negroes, or the African Americans that are an American, majority of us, the boatload of us, came from the western parts of Africa. We came from places like Nigeria. Really, you could trace us back to Nigeria. Now, does that make us Hamites? No, that means we were Africans, because that's a fulfillment of prophecy, and we're actually going to touch on that of Deuteronomy 28:68, which I already know. Right now, let's go through a couple of the Wikipedia. This is Wikipedia. It says Igbo Jews are members of the Igbo people of Nigeria who practice Judaism. They're not really practicing Judaism. They're really practicing. It's lucky for the words, because like a lot of times, like I make these videos and they'd be super late because of my schedule, and then I'll just be getting off work, I'll be tired, but this is the quiet time that I have to make these videos, so you have to excuse me. I've been noticing I've been doing that in a couple of my last videos, but we gonna be tired, we gonna be stressed out, but that's the fight that we put up, and that's why the reward of the salvation of the kingdom, right, is going to be so rewarding, because of all that work. We gonna know that we worked for it, but we still gotta push through. There's been videos and time periods where everything was clicking, I was saying the words perfect, I was going super deep, and then you have lower times where you kind of stumbling over words, you kind of pushing through it, you trying to get the spirit on you, so you just got to continue going, but let's go through it though. It says Jewish life has been documented in parts of Nigeria since the pre-colonial period, right? Because now I'm not saying they're all Israelites, but there's a big population of Israelites over there, and they go by the Igbo Jews, right? It says, and have claimed Israelite descent. So they're saying, look, we are the Israelites, and I agree with them, or practice Judaism in pre-colonial times, doing it after by friend war, more widespread Igbo identification with Jews concentrate, right? Because they didn't take all of us into slavery. It says the total population is anywhere between 15 to 12,000. Now, there was still Israelites that were left on the land, and there was Israelites that's been mixed upon all the land, And look, it says right here, now, isn't this what they call us? When you check this out, they call us what? Black Hebrew Israelites. And this is an Igbo Jewish community presented with a plaque by Black Hebrew Israelite Hashua Ameria, right? Which is crazy. So it shows you that the connection, even between the Jews, the Israelites in America, with the Israelites that are still in the West Africa. It shows you that connection. But they want to put a twist on us and call us the Black Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so, and this is how, you let it flow, right? So I actually want to tap on that word, Black Hebrew Israelites, right? But I'm going to just keep going through some of the history, right? It says the early and wide influential statements from these names is crazy, right? A Christian educated Igbo man and free slave suggested a Jewish migratory origin for the Igbo. He speculated in his autobiography in 1789. He said, a strong analyst which appears to prevail in the manners of customs of my countrymen and those of the Jews before they reached the land of promise, in particular the Periash, while they were yet in the pastoral state which is described in Genesis, analogy which alone would induce me to think that the one people has sprung from another, right? And it says, though there is no doubt that the Jews were present in the Sahara trade center during the first millennium. We always say that. We say, look, all nations are really guilty, because not only did we go into slavery under the Edomites, but we also was a part of the Sahara trade slave that had a lot to do with the Muslim world, right? So they're fucking guilty too, and they're gonna get judgment for it too. All nations are going to get judgment for it. It's just that the Edomites are going to get the worst of it. Obadiah chapter 1 tells you their fate, right? But I'm just kind of scrolling through. It says critical historians have reviewed the historic literature on West Africa, which was published during the 19th and early 20th century. They had clarified the diverse functions, right? And let me see what I want to do. I want to get some real deep. Actually, you know what? I got a video even better that's going to kind of break it down and actually show you them. So I got a video, but I kind of want to go back up here to this word Black Hebrew Israelite, right? Because it has a connection with the Igbo Jews that are in West Africa, right? Now, when you go to Black Hebrew Israelite on Wikipedia, right, it says Hebrew is also called Hebrew Israelites. So why don't you just say that, right? Black Hebrews, Black Israelites, and African Hebrew Israelites, right? Which is crazy. That's a crazy ass term, right? It's a made up term. It says are groups of African Americans who believe they are the descendants of the ancient Israelites, which is the same thing as the West Africans believing that they are descendants. Didn't it say they believe that they are descendants, right, of the ancient Israelites? So we have something in common. We're the same people. It says the subgroups believe that also the Native and Latin American are descendants of the Israelites as well. They are Israelites. You can see it all in their culture. The fringes, some of the customs, some of the laws they set up, the names, the languages, you could see it, right? The artifacts, right? It says Black Hebrew Israelites combine element to their teaching from a wide range of sources to varying degrees, but we don't need no fucking degree. We have the Holy Spirit. Black Hebrew Israelites incorporate certain aspects of religious belief. This ain't got nothing to do with no religious belief. This is our history, and it's our faith. You could say that with belief, right? It says in practices of both Christianity and Judaism. If there's any Hebrew Israelite groups that's practicing Christianity, they're going off. In Judaism, they're going off because those are not the truth, right? It says, though they have created their own interpretation of the Bible. It's not so much that we have created our own interpretation of the Bible. It's that the Lord gave us the spirit and the understanding of the Bible. What did it say in the book of Romans? Let's go to it. Romans chapter 3. Okay, so you have a certain understanding of the Bible that's been out there. The Christians follow that, and the Catholics follow that, Baptists, and the list goes on and on and on, right? Jehovah Witness, the list goes on and on and on, right? But if you check the origins of those faiths, right, it's most likely going to go back to Edomites, right? But the Edomites are not the Lord's chosen people. The Israelites are. So how will we get the Lord's truth? Will he send us the truth through an Edomite? Will he send an Edomite and say, look, you got to get under the Pope, and then the Lord's going to give us the truth through the Edomites? No. The Lord, if the Lord's truth has been withheld from the earth, and now the Lord has sent his truth to the earth, he's going to send it to his people directly, right? And it's going to go against the Catholic religion. It's going to go against the Christian religion. It's going to go against the Baptist religion, because those aren't the truth. So the Lord's going to send his truth to his people. His people, just like the Lord himself, Yahweh Shai himself, may not have a degree in the most fanciest college or the most exalted degree, or might be the most well-known or well-versed. That's why I say, when I stumble over my words, that's the Lord chose men. The Lord chose field men. Look what Amos was. Look what Jonah was. Regular man, in order to come into the truth. So it's not about that. It's really about the spirit. It's not about how many degrees you got in this worldly place, because the world passes away. Love not the things in the world. 1 John chapter 2. It just depends. It just really breaks down what you know about this Bible, man. So the Lord, of course, he's going to send those things to the real Israelites. Now, if the real Israelites are the scums of the earth, or, well, let me say, on the bottom of society, right, or the meek of the earth, or the non-desirables, you know, the non-exalted, or looked down upon, of course, when the Lord sends his truth to his people, they're going to say, look, they're going to go against it and say, look, they making it up. But they don't understand. No, we're not making it up. We're getting the spirit from the Lord. Romans 3 verse 1. What advantage then has the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? The actual Jews, right? Much every way, chiefly because that into them were committed the oracles of God. For what if some did not believe? And that's what we say. We giving you the truth, but a lot of people, since they don't look at us being exalted and we don't have that power yet, they say, look, y'all some fools. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And we say, okay, so what if some did not believe? Should their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yet let God be true and every man a liar. So every man's a liar. You can follow the American way. You can follow the English language and say, look, this is the correct terms and this is the correct way to do things. But that'll make you a liar, as it is written. Why? Because we go off base as it is written. We go off the truth in the Bible. It says that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So we are justifying our sayings because we come thus say the Bible, not thus say the American way, right? So they're saying that we just we have created our own interpretations of the Bible. Y'all created your own interpretations of the Bible. The Christians, the real Christians, you know, and it speaks about that in the book of Acts, I want to say 13, maybe. The book of Acts, chapter 13, the real Christians were the apostles, and all of the apostles were Israelites by blood, right? So y'all saying that y'all Christians and y'all calling people Christians that are not Israelites by blood, that would be you creating your own interpretation of the Bible, right? So really, we're not creating our own interpretation of the Bible. We're getting the spirit, we're getting the truth from the Lord through the Holy Spirit of the Bible. And now we're going out there and we're correcting you, because like it said in Romans 3, what advantage do a Jew has? You know, the oracles of God. We have that advantage. So really, we have the authority to tell you what's right and give you the true interpretation of the Bible, whether you believe it or not. Right? And y'all created y'all own interpretations of the Bible. All the shit, the religions that people in, it goes back to somebody that created their own interpretation of the Bible, and it's false. It says the other influences include Freemason and New Thought. For example, many choose to identify as Hebrew Israelites or Black Hebrews rather than Jews in order to authenticate their claims historical connections. Black Hebrew Israelites are not associated with mainstream Jewish community. They do not meet the standards that are used to identify people as Jewish. But who made those standards? The standards is you have to be a Jew by blood, and your blood has to go back to the man named Jacob, which, you know, name was changed to Israel, which they cannot show that. So who's to say that they have the authority to make the standards of who can identify as a Jew when they not even the Jews? We are the Jews. But, you know, the time's going to come where we're going to get that power, though. The Lord's going to give us that power. Now back on the main course. Now pause this right here. Okay, so This is the video that I got for you right here. Now check this out. You know, now this is what gets the spirit going for you to kind of wake up and tap into that spirit, you know. Now let's play that. Oh.
This is Nigeria, the 7th most populated country in the world. And every day within this dizzying frenzy, thousands stop what they're doing for Mincha, the traditional Jewish afternoon prayer. This community of Nigerian Jews belongs to the country's third ethnic group, the Igbo. They claim to be descendants of a lost tribe of Israel, and today observe.
And you see how they always say they claim to be? The people in the land is claiming to be. They haven't proven these things. They haven't proved that they are the true people. They haven't proved that they trace back to the actual blood of the 12 tribes. Right? But that's... And I had this argument earlier with a guy, man. It was a long out argument over the terms of different things. Right? And the only reason why they feel that way because they have the authority. But what happens when they don't have the authority no more? Who has the supreme authority? Well, it really goes back to the Lord. So what the Lord say, that's what is, right? Now, Esau has created his own little world, and then they run things based on them having that authority over the earth, because that was the promise that they got blessed with too in Genesis chapter 27. But we're going to get the authority back on the earth.
Religious practices very similar to rabbinical Judaism, although it's not always easy.
You cook for food on Shabbat, you preserve it to make it warm. You can put in a continuous burning stove and set it. Okay, in this place, I have the burning stove to set. When you set it, you put it on. Maybe after 3 hours, Hashem, please, the food chicken. You can
put a big pan on that, baked with hot water, very modern prayer. Importance of not touching your phone, not making calls.
It's pop quiz time.
Well, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm just gonna well, actually I'm gonna get into some scriptures, but you know, just to say, look, there are, and this is the proof, just showing you, just in case you didn't know, which a lot of brothers do know, you know, there are Israelites in Africa. There are nations, well, not even gonna say nations, but large populations of Israelites that come from the man Israel, come from the 12 tribes by blood in Africa. You know, so I just had to kind of make this video to put that disclaimer out there. There's Hamites over there too. Yeah, that's true. And there's Israelites over there. So what, you got to have discernment off the spirit. But ultimately, the Lord's he's going to separate the wheat and the tares. You know, that's why it's going to be that separation. Because the Lord's going to know he's coming for his people. Right? Now, this is Matthew chapter 2. Right? Just to kind of show you a track history of the Israelites being in Africa. I mean, because beyond popular opinion, today there's no such thing as the Middle East, right? But they call it the Middle East, right? Now, if you just call what parts of the Middle East and you just called it Africa, somebody might say that's the wrong term. But who makes what's wrong and what's right? Well, it's the Lord. Because technically calling the Middle East, that's the wrong term. I had this argument earlier today, right? So actually, it's still Africa. Israel, the land Israel, is in Africa. So it's what you call today Africa, which is not the true name of that continent, just like the name America for this continent is not the true name of this continent either, right? So what you call Africa today, the land of Canaan, like the Bible says, that land is a part of the landmass, which is called Africa today. So technically, Israel is in Africa. Right? And then we always used to flee to places like Egypt, which a lot of people for some reason don't know that Egypt is a part of Africa. Right? And this is proof of it right here. This is Matthew chapter 2, verse 11. And when they were coming to the house, they saw a young child with Mary and his mother, and fell down and worshiped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts and gold and frankincense and myrrh. Now, it didn't say fell down and worship Mary. It said they fell down and worshiped him. You know, just a little disclaimer out there since we did get to speaking on the whole Catholic shit, right? Now, verse 12, it says, and being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Wait, why did the angel appear to Joseph? I thought we supposed to worship the Mother Mary, all this and all that, right? Why is the angel appearing to Joseph now? Because the angel was appearing to Mary because Mary was pregnant with the Lord. After the Lord came out, the angel could deal with the man now, Joseph. Right? Now it says, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. So he said, look, he take the young child and flee into Egypt. Flee into what? Flee into Africa. So just like the Lord fled into Africa, the Israelites fled into Africa during the time 70 AD when the Romans was coming in to sack Jerusalem. We fled from that persecution, from that destruction. Some of us stayed, right? But we fled, majority, a big portion of us fled into Africa. And then that's how we got into Africa. We migrated from North Africa and we migrated to West Africa. And then from there you have what you call the transatlantic slave trade. Let's get that. This is the book of Luke. I want to jump to the book of Luke to get it. Luke chapter 20, I believe that was. Luke 20, starting at verse, is that 21? No. Hold on. Luke 21, I got it backwards. Luke 21, starting at verse 20. Got it backwards. Okay, it says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, right? This happened in 70 AD. Then know that the desolations thereof is nigh. Now, hold up. Hold that right there. All right, so like, I'm back. Right? Now it says, with their armies, then know that the desolations thereof is nigh. And then let them which are in Judea, right, in the land, flee to the mountains. Where was the mountains at? Just talking about the mountains of Africa, man. Just like the Lord, like we just showed you in Matthew chapter 2, fled from Herod, King Herod, which was an Edomite. He fled into what? He fled into it said Egypt, right? Now let's keep going. It says, let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter there into it, right? So we fled out, right? And then now you can finally understand when you're going all the way back, right, to Deuteronomy 28. Now it all comes together when it says, I'm gonna jump to verse 68 to the point, and then I'm gonna jump back. Verse 68, and the Lord should bring thee into Egypt again with ships, right? Just meaning that we're gonna go into slavery, because the word Egypt, during the time of the Egyptians, right, when Moses and the Israelites went into captivity under the Egyptians, we use that term Egypt today, but they weren't calling themselves Egyptians, right? They actually go back to Mizraim, right? Now the word Egypt actually has a meaning behind it, which means break down, roughly paraphrase, into like pretty much bondage, like a hard place or something like that, you know, on those lines. So when it's used in the word Egypt right here, is used in the actual definition of it, not saying the place. It just means that we would go back into captivity or slavery with ships, right? And we know that was during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, which we came from West Africa, but they didn't take all of us, right? And then we went in slavery on ships to this place called America, right? It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, right? Because now going back to Luke 21, when we fled out the land, and then over years and years and years living in Africa, migrating through Africa, right? Then there was an event that happened, the transatlantic slave trade, and we never seen our land again. Like even to this day, we're over here in America, right? The majority of us reunited, all 12 tribes, and we're in slavery and captivity here in America. We're under the same people that took us into that transatlantic slavery, still to this day waiting for our Lord to come back and save us, right? But we're scattered. Remember, now the Lord said that He's gonna scatter us, right? So you got to remember, and I'm gonna get that verse 2 here pretty soon. So we were scattered amongst the whole earth, right? So there's populations of us in Africa. There's still Israelites that's still in the land, right? There's Israelites in the UK. There's Israelites in England. There's Israelites in all over the earth, right? Now let's keep going. It says, and there ye should be sold into your enemies. So when we got to America, we were sold, we was put on the auction blocks. For bondmen and bondwomen, slave man, slave woman, and no man shall buy you. Now, if you jump back to verse 64, it says, and the Lord will scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even into the other. So are there Israelite populations in Africa? Yeah, because we were scattered amongst all people. It says, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. That happened when we came over here in America. You start serving Jesus Christ, which is a God. Jesus Christ has an image. So that's a false God. That image is when you type on Google, right, you get the white man with the straight hair. That's who Jesus Christ is, right? Now, that's not the same Lord of the Bible, because the Bible clearly tells us the Lord's image, right? Which that image does not match up to it. So they put up their image, right? And said, look, this guy is Jesus Christ, gave you a name, right? And then they said, look, this is the Lord of the Bible, but they lied to you. That's a false God, right? So over here, we're serving that God. And then you do serve wood and stone when you're serving those crosses, bowing down to those crosses, especially with the whole Catholic Church and the Catholic religion stuff, right? So our fathers, we knew of Yahweh, Paleo Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, right? Which is the Father, and we knew of Yahweh Shai, which is the Son, not no goddamn Jesus Christ, man. So that happened. That's a fulfillment of prophecy. But it said that we would be scattered. Now they are actually trying to follow the Lord. I don't really know their full teachings and everything like that, but just like there's a remnant of us that's waking up here in Mystery Babylon, and now we're remembering who we are, and we're starting to follow the Lord. But it just shows that we were scattered among all nations. If you jump back to verse 32. It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing, and for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. We know that happened in slavery. Once we got here to America, and then we went into slavery under these people, you had plantations, you had slavery, and we had no power to do anything about it. And our sons and our daughters were split up and sold and all that type of shit. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knoweth not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. And ever since we have been oppressed and crushed away. Anything we worked for, it was to benefit them. All the inventions that we made, we didn't really get paid or compensated for. They took credit for the things. It says, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see, which we were mad. It says, the Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed from the sole of thy foot and to the top of thy head. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou set over thee into a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. So if this is fulfillment of prophecy, how can you guys say that we need to be one with all the other nations and they could attain salvation or a kingdom with us, when the Lord just said, look, he brung us into a nation which neither our fathers, neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone, and shall become a astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. So that's why they still call, and I'm happy because this all wrapped around. That's the spirit right there. That's why they still put that black on it. We don't call ourselves Black Hebrew Israelites. We call ourselves the Hebrew Israelites. But they put that black on it because that's the proverb. That's the byword. Negro, black, African American, these colored, these are all names. These are the proverbs and bywords that they put on us among all nations, whether the Lord thy God, where the Lord shall lead thee. And that's a fulfillment of prophecy. So that's why anytime you see, the first thing they're going to say, if they put us on news, the first thing they're going to say is the Black Hebrew Israelites. Now, they know they could just call us the Hebrew Israelites, because just like Wikipedia said, it said Black Hebrew Israelites, and then it had the other names also known as, and it had Hebrew Israelites. So why don't you just call us Hebrew Israelites? but that shows you the fulfillment of prophecy. So even when they're talking about the igloos that are in Africa, you know, they still say, look, they believe this, or they kind of created their own, or they have claims, but they're not accepted by the Jewish people as actually being, and stuff like that, you know, and they really just don't want to give them credit because they don't want to give us credit, you know, but that's about to change, you know. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up making this video. I'm happy I was able to get into the spirit a little bit more, and hopefully this has been edifying. With that, I'm gonna say salvation to the elect. Shalom.